Hello, welcome back. And today, today I'm going to be telling you why you should probably stop using the term Asperger syndrome. Now, for those of you that don't know, Asperger syndrome is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by significant difficulties in social interaction and nonverbal communication, along with restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior and interests, such as writing lists, for example. Um, Asperger's syndrome is an autism spectrum disorder, but differs from other autism spectrum disorders by relatively unimpaired language and intelligence, meaning, in neurotypical speak, you're normal, whatever normal is. Now, Asperger's syndrome, or Asperger's, or AS, is named after the Austrian pediatrician Hans Asperger, who first discovered the condition in 1944, but it wasn't until 1981 that it formally became a medical condition and was named. But in recent years, it's become known that Hans Asperger, obviously working during the Nazi times, and he was Austrian, so. But yeah, it's become known that Hans Asperger sent at least two disabled children of his patients to the Am Spiegelgrund clinic, knowing that they would be subject to cruel experiments and likely be involuntarily euthanized under the Nazi program Action T4. Now, what that means is he sent at least two disabled kids to their deaths. And that's at least two. So that's two that we know of. That's, that could be hundreds more. Because, you've worked a long time during the Second World War and the Nazi rule. So it's most likely more. If we're being brutally honest, it's most likely more than two. Even if it's not, two is still too many. And knowing that my diagnosis was for high functioning autism spectrum disorder, which is very similar to Asperger's, but there's a couple of differences. The majority of it is an overlap, but there's few key differences. So knowing, and a lot of people still say that I have Asperger's rather than autism, which but I always find it uncomfortable whenever somebody says, "Oh, so I know other people who've got Asperger's," or whenever they say Asperger's, especially if it's in the sentence of, "Oh, you have Asperger's," or when you got diagnosed with Asperger's, things like that. It's really uncomfortable because he was a murderer, really, a Nazi. So yeah, that. There has been a lot of discussion about it, and a lot of people have stopped using it. But obviously, there are still people out there who use that term, and this is more of just a personal plea, I guess, to just stop using it because it's giving light to a Nazi. That's that's it's like being diagnosed with Hitler syndrome. Ain't nobody gonna want to say that. So it's this same kind of thing. If you don't know what the Action T4 program is, when the Nazis and Hitler came to rule, they implemented that program which basically were able to take kids away from their families. I mean, a lot of the parents would give the kids up voluntarily because, well, any disabled person, whether it be kids or adults or the senior citizens, elderly, disabled people in general, took up too much money from the government. So they were costing the country too much to keep, when they likely weren't going to really survive anyway. So they just thought the easiest thing to do is to just kill them off. So a lot of the time, the parents gave them away voluntarily. Some of the time, I think the parents were told that they were going to like an institution or something, or like to a hospital to get help, and then they were never seen again. So yeah, it's sickening, really, and that's basically just my plea, really, to just stop using that term, because the more people that stop using that term, the more that it will not be used at all, which makes, if that makes sense. So then, eventually, nobody will nobody will even know what nobody will even know that was a term. If you could just not use that, that would be, to me, greatly appreciated, and I'm sure to many other people it would also be greatly appreciated as well. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you're new, and if you enjoyed that little fact, I guess. I'll try not to be as deep with my videos like this, but this one is pretty deep, and I just thought that'd be better to get it out of the way now rather than later down the line. So yeah, thank you.